Let's take a look at capture profiles. In VLOOP Builder 7, each time you create a new screen capture project or you insert new screenshots into an existing project, you will need to select a capture profile. A capture profile is simply all of the settings selected and saved for the recording session in an individual capture profile. There are several different capture profiles that come pre-installed with VLOOP Builder, but none of these are set in stone. You can actually use the one that works best for you. For example, we highly recommend that new authors get used to working with capture profiles using the Quick Demo Easiest capture profiles, but you can choose any one that suits your needs. Any of these capture profiles, depending upon your needs, can be moved down in the list for organizational purposes and moved up in the list as needed. You can also choose any of these profiles and click the Modify button to open up the Capture Options window and change your settings as needed as well. You can also go ahead and select to or opt to create a new capture profile from scratch. To do this, simply click Add. And in the Capture Options window, make your selections to set up your new profile. For example, the first thing that you would do is choose a capture mode. VLOOP Builder 7 comes with 3 capture modes, including the new video capture mode, which will allow you to run a capture session in real time, capturing in video everything running on your screen. Video capture also includes the ability to record sound during the demonstration. Smart Capture still automates the process of the capture session, allowing you to concentrate just on the steps for your demonstration, and is driven by mouse clicks and key presses. So each time, for example, you click your mouse, VLOOP Builder will go ahead and capture 3 screenshots and save them as background frame animations. Or if you prefer total control over your capture session, you might opt to use manual capture, which will allow you to go ahead and use a hotkey to capture static screenshots. Now, depending upon the capture mode selected, for example, video capture, this will determine the additional tab options available for the capture session. So, for example, if we choose a capture mode, we can go ahead and give our capture profile a name. And then we want to go ahead and give it a description. And let's go ahead and move this off to the side so we can see where this comes up here. So our name would appear here, like Quick Demo Easiest, and our description would display below it in the Capture Profiles list. Then we can go through and choose whatever other options we want. So for video capture, we have hotkeys for pause and resume, for stopping capture, and for muting the sound during the capture session. So muting sound would enable us to, would allow us to mute the sound and turn it on and off during the capture session. And of course, we have sound recording options. If we want to capture sound during video capture, we select the option to do so, and then we choose our recording options in the recording options window, such as the format, microphone latency, which is the delay the microphone will use during the sound recording, and our input device. Then we choose options for our feedback. For our mouse, for example, if we want to capture cursor simulation and take advantage of Qarbon's patented cursor technology, which allows us to edit the cursor simulation during project editing, we can opt to turn it off, and we have also some advanced options as well for the frame rate, and also if we want to capture pop-ups. However, maybe we might want to use Smart Capture, which has a lot more options to choose from. Similar options though in the General tab, as you can see. For example, in the timing section, we can opt to have an introductory delay for the first balloon or note we insert along a timeline on a slide to maybe half a second. And of course, we can choose to have hotkey options as well. So even though we may use Smart Capture for our session, which is an automated process whereby VLOOP Builder will capture the screenshots and the keyboard simulation during the capture session, we may opt to also use a manual hotkey to capture individual static screenshots too. So we can go ahead and change this if we want as well. And then we can go through the various tabs to change options in the feedback. For example, to hear the camera shutter sound each time a screenshot's taken, we can go ahead and select it to play this on-screen capture to play a sound. And then in the mouse and the wheel and the keyboard tabs, we have options, for example, click here annotations. So each time we, for example, click, a balloon, when the project is converted to slides, will add a balloon will be added pointing to where we clicked with some text in it. And that way, when we're editing our project, it takes some of the guesswork out of project editing, where we might want to put some balloons for more information for our viewer. And again, we have options to create our cursor simulation, as well as turning, maybe instead of having cursor simulation, turning a demonstration into an assessment by each time we click. Maybe instead we want to create a click zone automatically. And then we have options for mouse timing as well. These are the same for if we were using the cursor or a mouse wheel. We have options for that, and if we want to capture keyboard simulations too. And then in annotations, we can choose options. For example, if we have click here annotations enabled for the mouse clicks, we can go ahead and determine, like if we were to go ahead and have a single left click, have a balloon that would be put onto that particular slide at that point with text that says click here. And we can double click in here at any point and change any of the text values that would be added, and then tab out of the field. And of course, everything that's added to the project with annotations can be edited while we're editing our project. And then finally, for Smart Capture, we have some advanced options to choose as well, such as screenshot delay. If you're going ahead and you're maybe demoing a web application and your page has a refresh rate on it, you might want to go ahead and play around with the screenshot delay so that you can determine how quickly the page refreshes, so that when you're editing your project, you don't run into maybe a screenshot that was captured of the page refreshing part way through. So this is an option you want to pay attention to and test as well if you use Smart Capture. And finally, again, if, like we said before, you also have an option for total control, which is manual capture. And here are the Again, you'll see some of the similar options when we were looking at, say, the Smart Capture profile and the video capture. In the General tab, we have options for identification. We have options for timing, like we saw in Smart Capture, as well as for hotkeys. Then we have feedback options. Again, even though it's manual capture, we still have the ability to take advantage of Qarbon's patented cursor technology, which allows us to edit cursor animations and all of the elements that make up the cursor simulation while editing the project, even with something as simple as manual capture. And manual capture, we can also opt to capture static screenshots on each mouse click, including right mouse button clicks. And we also have the ability in advance to capture pop-ups. So once we go ahead and choose our options in the capture options window, we go ahead and click OK, and the profile again is added to our list. And if this is a profile that we may use more often than others, we can go ahead and opt to move it up in our list. Finally, over time, as you use capture profiles, you may decide that there are some profiles that you're not using anymore. You might want to get rid of them from your list because you may find your list becoming too cumbersome with too many profiles. And this is easily done. Just select the profile in the list, then go ahead and click the delete button. One word of caution though, we recommend that if you go ahead, make sure that if you're going to delete a profile, that is one you're not going to use anymore, because this is a permanent action. So once you delete a capture profile, if you ever need it again, you will have to recreate it from scratch. But for this example, we're going to go ahead and click yes to get rid of this new profile, because we only created it for this particular demonstration. And that's all there is to it. For more information on this topic and other topics when working with Qarbon's products, please visit us online at qarbon.com. That's QARBON.com. Happy violeting!